Hi guys, my name is Sam. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you my April TBR. I'm gonna apologize in advance if you hear any ruckus going on outside. It's super noisy right here by my window, but this is the only time that I had to film this, so I apologize about that. But let's just get into the housekeeping of what I was supposed to read last month and whether or not I actually did. For the first prompt, I got Instagram Scroll, and for that, I was supposed to read Beach Read, and I did read this. For the second prompt, I got Debut, and I was supposed to read A Little Bit Country. I ended up swapping this out for Caution and Love, which you've already seen in my TBR tournament. I did read because I didn't use the same bingo I planned to use for Clint's readathon, so I no longer needed to read A Little Bit Country. The third prompt I got was Most Recent, and for that I was supposed to read The Finish Line by Kate Stewart. I am currently buddy reading this week, so since we're going by sections, I won't be finished until Friday, but this will be done by the end of the month. The next prompt I got was Romance, and for that I picked Rock Bottom Girl by Lucy Score. Clearly I'm also not done with this, but the live show is also on Friday for this, and so I will be finishing this by the end of the month. Then I got Last to First Letter, so this ended with L, and the next book I had to pick had to start with L, and for that I picked Lights Out by Kayla James, and I did read this. Then I got Next in the Rainbow, so it had to be the next color based off of what Lights Out was, so an orange cover, and I picked Razor Blade Tears, which I got 30% of the way through and DNF'd. So sorry about that. Then I got Sun Pick, and Ezra picked Exodus by Kate Stewart, which I have read. Then I got Library Pick, and for that I put Check Please, and I did read this. And last but not least, I got a poll pick. I ended up putting up Icebound and What Lies in the Woods for my poll pick. What Lies in the Woods won, and I did read that. So even though two of my books are technically not finished, they're both mandatory reads in my head. So they will be getting done by the end of the month, which means I will be spinning the rewards wheel. Also, if you've seen my TBR tournament, then you know I had to already add a spin from that. So we're on 6 spins right now. So let's see what reward we get and how that will affect gameplay. I'm super happy about this. So the reward that I got was to replace one prompt with a mood read. So I'm just going to save this and see what prompts I get, because potentially, you know, things happen and there will be something that I don't want to do, and then I'll just pick one of the reads that I have on my hopefuls for April. So let me go ahead and start screen recording and get to spin number 1. Highest rated. As previously stated, I changed my highest rated prompt to be the top 3 because I know the highest rated is A Core of Silver Flames, and I don't really want to read that. So let's go see what the top 3 are and pick one of those. The top 3 highest rated books on my shelves are A Core of Silver Flames, like I said, which I don't want to read. Binding 13, which I also don't want to read. It's really freaking massive. And Things We Left Behind, which I can't read because I haven't read the second one. So I don't know if I should cheat and read Things We Hide from the Light because I can't read the third one, or if I have to kind of go with Binding 13 because I already established I don't want to read A Court of Silver Flames. However, I think that I'm going to be nice to myself because Things We Hide from the Light is on my hopefuls for this month, and slot that in as my first book. So let me go grab it. I think another reason I'm more inclined to pick this is because I could have chosen it for TBR tournament and didn't. So I'm super excited to have this on my TBR. This is the second in the Knock 'Em Out series, following Knox's brother Nash and Lena, who just so happens to be Knox's ex-girlfriend, but they, you know, they don't have no feelings for each other. They don't care. And they gonna get into it, and I'm excited because it's kind of like broody, broken guy meets non-committal girl. I don't know, but I'm super excited to get into it. I know a lot of my friends have loved this book, and I believe Karina's supposed to be finishing the series this month as well. So maybe even possibly I could get around to the third book, but super happy to have this as my first pick. Spin number 2. Last letter to first letter again. So the last letter on Things We Hide from the Light is T. So let me go and see what books I have that start with a T that I could possibly pick for this. Okay, so I don't know if this is crazy, but in the same vein, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score, the third in the series following Lucian and Sloane. I have just been really inclined to pick these up and finally finish the series because the first book in the series was my favorite book of last year, and I really don't know what's holding me back. So, you know what? Let's knock out these series, okay? I'm super excited about this, and I hope that I love these as much as the first one, if not more. Spin number 3. Random year. So let me go ahead and pull up a random year generator. As you guys know, I don't like to torture myself. So the generator is going from 2016 to 2024. Let me go ahead and generate the year. 2018. So let me see what I can pick for this. Okay, so that took way longer than I expected. I couldn't find anything on my shelves that I wanted to read from 2018, and none of my hopefuls were from 2018 either, but I ended up looking through my purchases from Stuff Your Kindle Day and found one that I am really intrigued by. It's called, coincidentally, Tobias by Megan Ward. It's the first book in the Kings of Brighton series, and I'm just gonna read the synopsis really quickly because it sounds really freaking good. So it says, I learned a long time ago that people can't be trusted. I have my brothers. I don't need anyone else. Argentina was an anomaly, a moment of weakness. In the space of one night, she slipped past every one of my defenses. For one brief, terrifying moment, she had me believing she was different, that we could be different. But in the cold light of day, I saw the truth. She was just like the rest, cold, calculating, didn't want me, only what my money and the power it gives me could provide. So I sent her away and tried to move on. But moving on from her was a hell of a lot harder than it should have been. And then 5 years later, here she is, only her name isn't Argentina, it's Silver. Her father is my newest business partner, and she is not the person I thought she was. So it's giving enemies to lovers, second chance, mistaken identity. I don't know, but it's triggering me in a good way, and I really want to read it. So I'm super excited to have this on my TBR, even though it wasn't something that I was thinking about reading because it sounds really good. Moving on to spin number 4. Random letter. So 2 random generators back to back. Let me go ahead and pull that one up. Okay, I'm going to randomly generate. Let's pray for a good letter. J. J is not a good letter because what the fuck am I supposed to read that starts with a J? Let me go do some digging. Okay, I don't know if I'm making a big mistake here because I technically could use my reward and swap this prompt out for mood reading. But I think I'm going to go ahead and slot in Abby Jimenez's new release that'll be coming out in April just for the summer. For this pick, I don't know anything about it except for Abby Jimenez is a queen and I'm going to read it, period. So I don't know if I'll be purchasing this or holding out hope that it's going to be one of the selections for book of the month. That's what I'm going to slot in. Spin number 5. New release, and that was scary because I almost got last letter to first letter again, which, as you guys know, adds another spin, but thank God I did not. So new release, let me see. Okay, so for new release, I'm going to slot in Wild River by Laura Pavlov, which I am going to be buddy reading with Karina in April because we read the first book together and see that it's only fitting that we read the rest of the series together. This one is going to be following River, and I don't remember the female main character's name, but she's somebody who hasn't been back into town for a while, and then her father gets into an accident. I believe it's her father, and she needs to come back to town to help him run his business. And so they get into a little, relationship, and I'm super excited about it. I had a great experience with the first book in this series, a great experience buddy reading it, so I'm super excited to have this one on my TBR as well. And last but not least, spin number 6. Another Booktubers TBR. Okay, this one's kind of hard because I do not plan on participating in any book clubs this month. I have already read the Sweeney Reader's Pick this year, so I'm not going to reread it. And I have some potential triggers for the Thrills and Chills book club read this month, so I'm not going to be reading that one either. Okay, so I have two options that I could pick, one being Fourth Wing because a bunch of us are supposed to be buddy reading it in April, and then the other pick is Flawless by Elsie Silver because I do want to participate in the ChestnutSpringsAlong hosted by Leandra, Claire, and Brittany. And I think ultimately that's the one that I'm going to end up going with just because Fourth Wing is a reread for me, so I don't know that I'll be able to get through it easily, and I want to have something on my TBR that I know I could finish within the month, just in case I don't finish Fourth Wing in time because it was really dense. Let me go grab that book. Okay, so here we have Flawless by Elsie Silver, the first in the Chestnut Springs series, like I said, and I will be linking that read along down below in case you guys want to participate. They're going to be reading every book per month and then having a live show at the end of the month, and the first one starts in April. And this one is following Rhett and Summer. Rhett, who is a professional bull rider, gets into a brawl, and then Summer is charged with being like his supervisor, and I guess they end up in a relationship. I'm super excited to read this. This is a beloved series by many people, so I hope that I enjoy. And I think as far as my reward goes, I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind in case one of these reads ends up not working for me and switch that out for a mood read in the middle of the month. Or if I don't use it, then I could just have it on the back burner for a future game of TBR. And the only other reading plans I have is another buddy read with Dana this month. We're supposed to be reading Tempt Our Fate by Kat Singleton, which is the second in the Sutton Mountain series. Following Cade's sister Pippa and Camden, who is a billionaire. They cross paths a couple times and things don't always go as planned. When they do, they have a kind of rocky relationship from the start, so I'm interested to see where it's going to go because we got a glimpse of them in the first one, and I'm super excited to be buddy reading this with Dana as well. So this is my stack without the digital reads, and I'm super excited about it. I think I got some really good picks. I got in some of my hopefuls, so the rest of them will just either be read if I can fit them in this month. We'll move on to another month, but I'm super excited nonetheless. These are some really great picks this month, and I think April is going to be a banger. As always, if you guys have read any of these books, let me know your thoughts down below. I love to hear about them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.